Welcome to Monthly Review, the monthly feature in which I talk about male seiyuu music yet again. And this time around, I need to talk to you about the music that was released in September, which was pretty awesome. So, September 2022. I was not expecting that to be a big month, however it ended up being one that was quite big, and unfortunately I didn't get to review as many CDs as I wanted because I was wrapping up the pile of shame of CDs that I had yet to review from, I don't know, 2020, 2021. So, with that being said, I reviewed a couple of CDs yesterday. You may start seeing or coming across the reviews on the website starting from the date in which this episode was originally posted. And I've got a couple of interesting insights to share with you about those CDs. Let's start with Best of September 2022. So, for starters, one of the CDs that stood out the most for me was Gakuto Kajiwara's Road Movie. Now, I've said it before, Gakuto Kajiwara has a really awesome voice. He has a clarity that not all other seiyuu have, which is to say he is quite unique as a singer. And in Road Movie, you have that uniqueness on his voice, but you also have the instrumentals, the warm, semi-acoustic instrumentals. And this time around, a little bit of funk with some dashes of jazz on top, and you get a really mature release that I honestly wasn't expecting. Yes, Gakuto Kajiwara is a really awesome performer, and he's proved me wrong when I said that I found his solo debut to be way too early to make any sense. Well, it sounds like the people that scouted him for a solo debut actually knew what they were doing, which is something commendable. Because there are many seiyuu that are making solo debuts that eventually do not show that much talent or do not have that much support to create music and to be right from the start like Gakuto Kajiwara is actually doing, which is to say writing his own music and his own lyrics, at least to some of the songs. So, Road Movie is a really awesome mini album. I binged listened to it, which is a good thing. I really love the mood in Otona. It's really one of those songs that stands out to me because of its loungy vibe, and it has a mature twist that I was not expecting yet again. The two songs written by Gakuto Kajiwara, Bokura no Melody and Wasurenai Yoni. These two songs are really awesome and show that Gakuto Kajiwara actually has the talent to be a singer-songwriter in full time. I actually would love to hear more of his compositions and lyrics because he does have the talent to do so, and those fit perfectly with his vibe, with his sound, with the tone that he has in his music. So right now I do not see any issues with Gakuto Kajiwara actually delving into something more personal, and I've said that in the review, that I was not expecting a seiyuu to mature this quickly as a solo artist. Gakuto Kajiwara has 1 year and a half of basically experience as a solo artist, and he is doing an amazing job. He's already found his own voice, he's already found his own music genre, or the music genre that he prefers the most. He also found the perfect place for his performances. He's insanely steady, there are no wobbly parts, there are no doubtful performances. He's basically comfortable, and that's something that is rare for a seiyuu without 3 or 4 years of experience. So it's quite impressive what he is doing. I enjoy a whole lot the music he is putting out. So if you are into acoustic pop rock or even some mature take on funk and jazz, Gakuto Kajiwara does have that aplenty in this mini album. So if you can, do check Road Movie because it is really awesome. Then we have Yuma Uchida with Congrats. Honestly, everything that Yuma Uchida releases, it's usually good. So I was already arriving at the CD with high expectations. However, when I saw that the title track was going to be performed in an ensemble of 7 people in total, I was a bit reluctant. Honestly, I do love the ensemble itself because you have there some of the best vocals in the seiyuu industry that happen also to be Yuma Uchida's friends. So I was not complaining about the quality that I would get there. I was more inner complaining about the possibility that the vocals may be way too crowded for my taste, or may even make the song sound way too cheesy because the title is congrats. So you are celebrating something. Usually, when you celebrate something, the sound is preppier, the beat is, of course, upbeat, and you have a really carefree style of performance. Of course, you have a carefree style of performance, but not without its technicality. And Yuma Uchida is doing a lot of things on the vocal end, not necessarily in the with friends version of the song, but in the solo version, he's doing a lot of things, namely rap and clean singing, and then he does go a little bit higher and lower on his vocal range to deliver something that is quite impressive for specifically a celebratory song. So I'm quite impressed with that, and I would love to, of course, recommend that song to you. Also, the single. The song that stands out the most for me is Echo. This is a song that I believe will not stand out to many people because it is a ballad and because it is a rock ballad, which are two things that usually doom a song right from the start from getting popular. Ballads with Yuma Uchida are usually really interesting to listen to. It's where he shows his technicality, it's where he pours his heart out, so I do love to listen to a good Yuma Uchida ballad. At the same time, it is rock, so you do have an edge there. You have the emotions pouring out in a different way, not only from the voice only, but also from the instrumental. So I feel like Echo is actually the best song in this CD, but I believe that it is going to be the song that goes the most under the radar because it is a ballad and it has rock at its core. Go Rolly is actually a song that embraces city pop. I was not expecting that from Yuma Uchida, but I'm not complaining. This is a song that is really awesome to listen to, albeit brief. It's a 2:35-minute song, so it is really short and sweet. So if you're looking for a good shot of city pop galore, you do have that in Go Rolly. And of course the single wraps up with Congrats, the solo version, and without the backing vocals. The solo version of Congrats is all about Yuma Uchida taking the stage, and does so really comfortably, so I do not have any complaints in there. So all in all, Yuma Uchida's Congrats is a celebration of his 30th anniversary, so welcome to the 30s. And of course it is at the same time the celebration of his 10th single release, which is a lot. He's been pretty active in the last couple of years, and it is no surprise that he's already in his 10th single. About this single, I do not have much to add. I welcome you, of course, to check the review on the website, and if you have the time, do check the single, because it is well worth your time, and it is all about having a lot of energy, a lot of emotion, and being gripping right from the start, never letting you go until the very end. It is really awesome. Then we have Kentito with Mayonaka no Love. I said that I was going to talk about this CD, or digital single, and I'm going to talk about this digital single because I reviewed it yesterday, and as you can see by my grin, this is a really awesome song. It's been a while since I listened to a solo artist among male seiyuu performing city pop in such a way. The other artist is of course Kotaro Nishiyama, but Kentito is on a really different level on the vocal end, and he has one of the most interesting voices I can find among seiyuu that are working into the music. He is insanely technical, he is incredibly knowledgeable about composition, which is something that plays in his favor because he understands the assignment when he is given an assignment to perform a song. So when he gets to the stage and he goes to perform Mayonaka no Love, the vibe is really mature. Not necessarily because it is sleazy or necessarily or intentionally alluring. It has a maturity that is natural. It flows naturally. You know that this song is being performed by someone that has experience. And you can tell by the way he performs the song itself. It's not cheesy at all, and I was really worrying that it would be cheesy because Kentito is usually a singer-songwriter, and he didn't write the lyrics for this song nor composed this song, so he's only performing the song. And I was worried that a sketch would give him a cheesy debut, a suboptimal debut for his vocals. He's so talented, so technical that I want to hear more and more of him tapping into his technicality or showcasing his technicality. And usually pop music doesn't do that. City pop actually does have a space in which that can happen, because it is a rather technical music genre, and you usually have a lot of bass going on. So if you are a tenor, in this case Kentito is a tenor, you are going to stand out within that instrumental, and you are going to sound clear and clean at all times, especially if you have a good diction and if you have a good control over your voice, something that I'm not going to even contest because Kentito does have that. But as I was listening to Mayonaka no Love, I found myself enjoying it a whole lot. The song went on loop for quite a while, and I can safely say that it has turned into one of my favorite songs of the year. I would love to see more, and I would love to hear more of Kentito as a solo artist. I'm really looking forward to it. I know that he has a talent to do so, and now that he is not really bound by the shackles of Yuma, in which he actually composes the songs but he doesn't write the lyrics, so he doesn't set the tone necessarily to his music or to the music in Yuma. He collaborates in creating that tone. This time around, he's in charge of that. He's creating the tone, he's leading the way, he's delivering a performance that is so good. So if you haven't listened to it, it is available on all streaming platforms worldwide. Of course, I'm going to say Spotify because I use Spotify. But do check it, the song is available for free and it is well worth your time. Mayonaka no Love is a banger. Then, and I'm already exceeding the list of CDs that I was going to talk about that stood out for me. First off, it is the trio in Anthos that performed Love Is. So I'm talking about LIHITO, which is voiced by Kentito, KAORU, voiced by Shunichi Toki, and SETSUNA, voiced by Shun Horie, and they delivered a mature performance on top of a song composed by Leap that has done amazing compositions for Anthos in the past and actually helped in the Remixes album that was released, revitalizing one of the songs that I actually reviewed last year in the review advent calendar. So I was pretty excited when I saw the name Leap in the composition credits, and then when I saw the lineup, yeah, this song is going to go right. And then the concept, it's going to be mature and showcase an allure from, or a masculine allure. And it does that pretty well. It is a song that is going back to basically the 80s. It has a lot of disco influences from the 70s, a lot of funk and the fun in city pop from the 80s, and it is really a song that is well worth checking out. If not for the vocals, at least for the instrumental itself. It is fun, it is upbeat, it is classy and pretty elegant throughout. So if you do have the time, do check Love Is. Another CD that stands out this month is Loulou's Mono. Now, if you are a person that is not really in a good place mentally, and that you feel like your mental health is not at its best, I do not recommend you to listen to this CD. Mono is mind-breaking and in a way fourth wall breaking, in a way that you do not necessarily want or expect it to be. Mono is a dark CD. It is more intense than Pansy was, and When you get to the end of it, death is only the thing you can feel. This is weird. We have a eerie, distant, and even in a way forlorn intro with intro mono. It's an instrumental track. Of course, I never rank instrumental tracks, but it is already a good indication of how mind-breaking this CD is going to be. If you feel uncomfortable with the instrumental track, then I recommend you only to check this CD when you feel that you actually are feeling alright, because it is really dark. Darker than this, only Soma Saito's music. Perfect Pride is a song that has a choir in the background and sets the stage with an orchestra at the front, but it is so weird, the whole vibe that it has. It's not necessarily a song that is mind-blowing like some of the previous songs by Loulou were. This is a song that shines a bit less in comparison with previous songs, and for that reason I didn't give it full marks, because it feels like something is amiss. Of course, it may be a really crafty way to make you feel loss within this CD. When you go to Abortive Flower, and Abortive Flower is a song that already has a title that is heavy. When you get to this song, a clock starts ticking, and it starts ticking again, because if you paid closer attention to Pensée, the CD that preceded this, there was a clock ticking as well. So that clock is back. The countdown is there, but the countdown is getting slower and slower. The strings in the background are dragging themselves to actually complete the melody. You have a piano that is somberly playing on top. And when you are listening to, you only need 30 seconds to understand that this song is not going to end well. It is really dark. It is unusually so. And it feels like a goodbye, it feels like a funeral, it hurts a lot. Despite the lullaby-ish vocals for most of the song, it hurts a lot. It feels like you're going through something really heavy. It feels like there's no way to return to a good place. It is a goodbye, and this goodbye is quite intense. As you get to the bridge of the song, you notice or start noticing changes in the vocals. Aside from Shunsuke Takeuchi's vocals that are steady for the most part and never wobble in emotion, Daiki Yamashita and Toshiki Toyonaga go to the verge of crying in that part. You listen to their voices trembling. They are shaking in their core. They are missing something. They are at a loss completely. They are bidding goodbye to a part of them. They are bidding goodbye to you. They are bidding goodbye to themselves. It is visceral the way the song wraps up, and it doesn't feel like the type of song that you will usually listen to when you want to have fun or enjoy Takeshi Hama's complex compositions, because this time around Takeshi Hama exceeded himself and went really dark, darker than I was expecting with Mono, and especially with Abortive Flower. So this is a CD that is hauntingly beautiful, but this is a type of beauty that may not click with many people, and at the same time this is a type of beauty that is slightly twisted and may not be the right thing for you to listen to if you can't or aren't in a really good place mentally. This is just like I said when I was reviewing In Bloom by Soma Saito, a CD that I do not recommend for people with mental health issues to listen to, at least not in an initial phase. It is dark, it is really intense, it is death incarnate. So do have that in mind when you are going to check the CD, but it is as dark as you can get. It is really, really intense. Still a close to perfect CD. A pity that the leading track is not as good as previous leading tracks, so Perfect Pride is a notch below in quality from all other songs released so far by Loulou. It's more than compensated by Abortive Flower. A pity though that the song is so dark that I believe not many people will actually want to check it, and even those that want to check it may not be inclined to do so because it feels really weird listening to this song and getting to that emotional part in which the vocals are crying to you, crying at you, and you can't do anything about it to stop the crying. It is mind-blowing. So props to Takeshi Hama on the composition end, and yet again props to Loulou for delivering a performance that is mind-blowing. And to wrap up, it's aoppella 4. This is a whole lot of music to talk about, but aoppella 4 is yet another chapter in the aoppella franchise. Still a CD performed by Lil Happy and FYA'M, without Vadlip, the group that recently debuted. So I was really curious to see where each group was going to take their music from the point in which aoppella 3 had basically left everyone. That was a CD that was more festive than it should have been, especially for a CD that dropped early in 2022. It was way off in tone from expected. It was a CD that sounded like Christmas, and it was released in January or early February, if I'm not wrong. This time around, Lil Happy stood out the most for me. And I'm a big fan of Kaleidoscope. I do love it when Tetsuya Kakihara takes the charge or takes the lead in a song, and he did that for this performance. I found it really interesting at the same time that Ryohei Kimura was blasting head voice and high notes like crazy, was almost unrecognizable throughout the song. It only stood out to me because I knew that A, B, C and D had already performed and someone was missing, and it was him. And that person that I was not recognizing in the head voice and high notes was actually Ryohei Kimura. It is mind-blowing the job that he does in this song. Of course, this time around you have Tetsuya Kakihara and Tomoaki Maino doing a lot of the bass, of the core bass of the song. Tetsuya Kakihara goes there to help. It doesn't necessarily go low, but it goes low enough so that you have a bit more heart in the performance, and it is insanely groovy and melodic from start to finish. So I do recommend you to check, of course, Kaleidoscope by Lil Happy, but let's not forget about Voice, Heart, Body and Soul by FYA'M, because this song is led by the duo that I love the most within the group, Takuya Sato and Toshiki Toyonaga. These are the most contrasting voices you can get within the group, of course if you do not count Daiki Hamano, that is a pure bass for this group. But you have the low baritone vocals of Takuya Sato, and you then have the crystal clear high notes of Toshiki Toyonaga, giving simultaneously an alluring mature vibe and a youthful take on the same song. It is really interesting, the dynamic between both. I do have some reservations about the song itself, unfortunately. The dynamic on the vocal end is weird this time around. I do not recall, and I honestly am saying this, I do not recall any part in which Yuki Ono performed in voice, heart, body and soul. Do not. He is there, of course, in the background, but he barely goes to the spotlight. If he does, it is only once and early on in the song. Same thing for Wataru Urata, that actually appears once in the song, does some harmonization, does some harmonies in the background, but other than that is nowhere to be found. So it is a weird song in terms of the organization of the vocals and how many lines each seiyuu has in this performance. I do love the idea of giving more to some to stand out and showcase their talents within a song, but I did find it a bit weird to not have that equal dynamic that FYA'M had up until now. Not that I'm complaining about the quality of the song, I've got no complaints, the song is awesome, but the dynamic on the vocal end may sound a bit off right from the start. So Wataru Hirata is basically nowhere to be found, and Yuki Ono, well, good luck finding him within the song, because I didn't. Unfortunately. And that's all for me from the best of September 2022. And now it's time for your opinions, and I do have a participation of Anna. Anna says, "Congrats with Friends is definitely my favorite. I've been listening to this non-stop since the song is released. Uchida Yuma's long notes sound so clear. As this is his 10th single, this song resembles New World, his first single. I thought this is very awesome. Also, he's singing this song with his friends, Soma, Kaito, Yashiro, Hanae, Enoki, Junya, and Hatanaka. They're all sounding so great together. I really recommend these to everyone. Indeed, this is a song that sounds really well, and one of the very first things that I said when I was reviewing the song, of course you will have to read it, it's that the song resembles a lot New World, but it is a mature take on that same concept, on that same ambitious, hopeful, and exciting new song. This is a refresh or an upgrade, I must say, an upgrade over that song, and the performance is really awesome. It is a song that hypes you up, but it is not cheesy. It is a song that doesn't sound dated, and it is a really awesome bundle of fun, seeing especially the dynamic between all vocals, and it is peppy without being cheesy, which is a big plus for me. I do share the same opinion as you, Anna. It is a really awesome song, and Yuma Uchida's long notes are usually a treat to listen to. He does those in legato, and he can even rise and go lower on the range and do anything he basically wants on those long notes. And as you may have seen in the music video with Friends, he doesn't need to necessarily open his mouth that much to do those notes. He's got a lot of control over his breathing, which enables him to do those legato long notes really, really awesome and shine through. So, just like Anna said, I recommend you to check Yuma Uchida's Congrats with Friends, or Congrats as a whole, the single. So that's all for your suggestions or your opinions about the best CDs released in September 2022. Now it's time to talk about monthly choice, which is to say that corner in which I suggest you songs or CDs to listen to, and I bring you one suggestion that you may be thinking why she didn't talk about it in the best of 2022 or the best of September 2022. So I'm going to say this right now. Phantom Iris Miroir is a song. I'm not talking about the CD, a song that you should check. This is the song that stayed with me the most when I was listening to Phantom Iris' first full-length album of the same name, and it is crazy good how the atmosphere that is created for you and is fleshed out with the performance. Arthur Lounsbury is insanely good as a performer. He adds a lot of emotion to his performances. He's relentless in the way he does so, and he has a unique raspiness in his voice that makes it so that every single bit of emotion that he is pouring out to his performances or into his performances is twice as more impactful than usual. So he does have a really awesome touch in his performances, and Miroir is a song that stands out for me the most for its unique sound and how intense yet classy it is at the same time. So it is a song that I recommend you to check. Why am I not recommending Miroir the CD? Because there's a couple of issues going on in there. There's a whole lot of consistency. However, that consistency means that all songs sound almost identical. That's a good thing on one side, and that's a bad thing on the other side. for someone coming across the band for the very first time, it's good to have consistency, because you will show that this artist performs music like this. But for someone that is actually following the band and wants to see something really different, because the band has shown something different in the past, the CD sounds a bit more of the same. Don't get me wrong, I reviewed it really well. The CD is actually close to 5 stars, so it is a really consistent and really solid album, filled with head-banging tunes. However, that excess consistency makes the album sound way too polished, way too perfect, and it sounds boring at times. I do know that this is a rather controversial opinion. Of course, this is an opinion, and you may have a completely different one that, of course, may come from different passions within music. I am a big fan of visual K-rock, and I do appreciate the fact that Phantom Iris is bringing visual K-rock to the spotlight, because right now we barely have any group or music project that is actively embracing visual K-rock and is delivering high quality visual K-rock. This is important because it's not about only embracing visual K-rock, it's about delivering quality visual K-rock, and not many 2D music projects at the moment are doing so. And Phantom Iris do that for me. They deliver high quality music. They do have high quality music, but if you listen to all the releases that dropped this month, Miroir is the CD that sounds the most monotone for me in terms of dynamic. It is too steady, too consistent to be a CD that has a unique dynamic or something that will grip you from start to finish. When you listen to the first song, it's not going to be that much different from the other songs that are in that CD. Is this a bad thing? Like I said before, it isn't. It's me being nitpicky, and it's me putting actually my experience listening to a wide variety of music genres and a wide variety of artists per month, and coming across a CD that doesn't have necessarily variations between the songs and is also not telling a story within that excessive consistency. So if you do have a lot of consistency in one CD, you perhaps are telling a story, but in this case the songs themselves are individual chapters. Each is a story itself. They are not carrying over from one side to the other, so there's not an overarching story, which makes the fact that the CD is way too consistent sound a bit boring. That's why I didn't recommend the CD itself. Still, if you enjoy visual K-rock and you love Arthur Lounsbury's voice, do check it. There are plenty of songs, awesome songs in there, but the CD itself is a bit hard to digest if you want to have fun. It's a bit hard to digest. I have Daisuke Ono's Ding Dong to recommend. I love this song a whole lot. It is a collaboration with the Gospelers, the a cappella group, the legendary a cappella group in Japan, and they performed the backing vocals for him. They composed the song and wrote the lyrics for him as well. Daisuke Ono has been trying to showcase more of his voice in the last couple of years, and especially in this year he has been releasing almost monthly, or every 2 months he releases a single in which he focuses on his voice, and he has been improving a whole lot as a singer. He's not a stellar singer like some of the singers I've talked about so far in this episode, but he does put in the effort, and if you listen to his first singles and now the music he is performing, he's showing that he is growing, he is evolving as a singer, he's getting better, and the music as a result is getting better. And I'm enjoying a whole lot this new era in Daisuke Ono's music, more focused on emotions, more focused on delivering full, engaging vocal performances that actually showcase that he is really technical when he wants to be, and he does so really, really awesomely. So I do recommend you to check Ding Dong. This is a song that is, of course, city pop. It's all about city pop. It is nostalgic, it is fun, it has a little bit of allure in there. It is mature from start to finish. You listen to this song, and this is a song with a mature vibe from start to finish. And I find this song to be really, really awesome. So if you do have the time, do check it, because it is So good. Especially if you are craving the summer yet again, this song will take you right there to the summer. It is that soundscape that has me thinking about the sun setting and driving along the seashore. It's really, really, really awesome. And to wrap up this corner, I bring you Kenichi Suzumura's Turn On a Radio. So this song is from his album Bright that was released last year, if I'm not wrong. And Turn On a Radio is yet another funky song in this suggestion list. So as you can see, this month was all about funky songs for me. It's such a funky song. It is perfect right from the start. You can listen to... Actually, you are taken to the 70s when this song starts. It's so freaking awesome the way he introduces you to the song. The build up on the guitars, and then that unleash of color and energy when the song really kicks in the verses. So Turn On the Radio is a song that is so underrated, and especially Kenichi Suzumura's music is underrated to begin with, which is a pity because he's an awesome singer-songwriter, but it does such an amazing job at fleshing out that unique 70s disco time sound and 80s city pop that I found myself listening to that song with a smile on my face every time it turns up. So this is a song that I have been listening to a whole lot in the last couple of weeks, and I recommend you to check if you have the time to, because it's really, really, really fun. And yet again, it's a song that winks at summer, but has a comfort, a warmth that fits really well with the autumn. And that's all for my suggestions in the monthly choice corner. Anna does bring some suggestions here. That's a whole lot of suggestions, but thankfully you have a lot of music to choose from, so let's check it out. So, Anna says, I think Shinjidai by Full Throttle 4 featuring Lip Lip, which is a song I haven't checked, and Never Lose My Rule by Zul are amazing. Most people would know Shinjidai as part of Tarumono and Honeyworks songs, so I want more people to know about them. And Never Lose My Rule by Zul was actually never really announced, and it was just suddenly released. It is a birthday song or an anniversary song for Zul, so it is to be expected that not many people were expecting it, because not many people are keeping track about the anniversaries of their favorite 2D groups. So not many people know about this song unless they're Idolish 7 fans. Well, I recommend this song because the song is so Zul-like, giving cool vibe and bringing kind of rock. The lyrics MV is on YouTube already. It was amazing. I'm pretty sure even if the song is not really your type, you'd be immersed into the song and remember the melody whenever you're not listening to this music. Enjoy! So, this is a catchy song from what Anna is saying. Never Lose My Rule is a song that I have in my backlog to review. Perhaps I will be talking about it in the next month's episode, because this time around I didn't have the time to review it. I'm looking forward to it, and just like Anna said, well, Zul songs are not necessarily well known beyond the Idolish 7 franchise, but the group does have a really awesome sound. They shift between that rock edge that is a bit grungy, a bit 90s in there, and their intense EDM sound, as you can find in some songs in Einsatz. Of course, the group has evolved a whole lot in the last couple of years, and due to story reasons, the group is now sounding completely different. And Never Lose My Rule is a song that will sound completely different from the songs that are being released at the moment for Idolish 7 Third Beat, the second crew, because those are different points in time for Zul. The Zul from that timeline is not the Zul in Never Lose My Rule. So you have to have that into attention when you are listening to Zul songs. Maybe do that chronologically from what makes sense within the story, not necessarily chronologically from what is being released for us in real life. So do have that into attention, because there will be differences in the songs and the styles of the music that ZUL are releasing at the moment, and they are going to release music in December and actually November, so do have that into attention when you are listening to ZUL songs. There will be some contradictions in tone and vibe because the group that is performing the songs in Idolish 7 Third Beat, the anime series, is a different ZUL from the ZUL that is currently in the 6th season in the game, 6th season that is going to kick off really soon. So there are a couple of changes in here, and still I'm really looking forward to listening to ZUL's Never Lose My Rule. And as far as Full Throttle 4 go, I've been recommended to check their music a whole lot. I haven't had the time to do so, but the more I see these recommendations, the more I feel like I'm missing out on something really cool. So thank you very much, Anna, for participating, and of course for recommending 2 awesome songs to check. This episode is sponsored by all the Hand That Feeds HQ's patrons on Patreon. A big thank you for the support. Time for Music in the Horizon. So I'm going to talk briefly about the CDs that I'm looking forward to the most in October. I'm looking forward to Shiki and Sora's CDs in the Anokoro CD series in the Tsuki Pro franchise. Both CDs appear or have that tagline that the artists or the members of those groups in the Tsuki Pro franchise are going to revisit their younger selves to actually come forward with a song that summarizes their growth and looks forward to the future. I'm looking forward to those CDs because I do love the Tsuki Pro franchise a whole lot, so I want those to actually be really good. Then we have Daisuke Ono with Sounds of Love. Daisuke Ono has been impressing a whole lot in the last couple of years, at least in the last year, has been impressing me a whole lot. He's fully developing his vocal technique as a singer, and he has been collaborating with the Gospelers, the legendary a cappella group. And Sounds of Love is a CD that features a couple of songs that were created or composed by the Gospelers and featuring their vocals, and that I've reviewed so far, which is exciting. It brings as well 2 duet tracks, one with Rena Ueda from Atlantis as well, and Wataru Hatano from Avex. And I'm looking forward to see what those featuring tracks bring to the table, because if Daisuke Ono is actually putting a lot of effort in developing his vocals, I'm expecting those performances to be technical. And given the singers he brought to sing along with him, I'm really expecting something really, really awesome. So I'm looking forward to Sounds of Love. I know that not many people will be looking forward to it because Daisuke Ono is far from being a top tier singer, but he is a really awesome entertainer, and I find his music to be really enjoyable to listen to, especially as of late. So I'm looking forward to Sounds of Love and hope it exceeds my expectations. Now we have a comment by Anna, and I love how this is back after 8 months. I'm talking about My Beautiful Valentine again. So Anna says the CD they are most excited about is My Beautiful Valentine Instrumental Edition. Soma Saito's songs in this second EP were beyond amazing. With his ability to write a story, he's being a storyteller in this whole EP and creates his own universe. I want to hear how the instrumentals sound like and how fun it is to sing along to those. So, I wouldn't say necessarily it is fun to sing along to the songs in My Beautiful Valentine because this is a really dark CD, but you do you. Really, if you find enjoyment in dark music, for example, I do have fun, and I hope you're having fun singing along to the songs and finding your own rhythm within those songs. Of course, not many people will say, well, My Beautiful Valentine is a fun CD. It's not the usual type of fun. It is fun beyond mindless fun. It is a type of fun that you have to think to actually enjoy it. So it is a complex CD. My Beautiful Valentine. I've talked about it plenty of times. It is really complex, it is really dark, it is descent to madness, and it is really well handled by Soma Saito as he tells those stories that don't seem like they actually fit together, but they actually are fitting together when you get to the bonus song, Kudryavka. So I do recommend you, of course, to check that CD. I'm curious to see how Uzumibi sounds without vocals, because that song is so dark, but so good. And as a guitar player, I want to actually learn the hits and beats of the instrumental, and right now I may be able to actually follow along the song as a whole, but my god, this CD is so good, and to have it in instrumental version is a god-given. This is a CD that is so impactful with vocals, that a bit like all other CDs that he released so far as instrumental versions, I found that from Quantum Stranger up until now, his CDs do not lack a bit of emotion, interestingly enough, without the vocals. Which is to say that Saito has been doing a really awesome job on the vocal end, making sure that not only the instrumentals make you feel dread, make you feel extremely emotional, but also that his vocals can add that last punch, that they can be the catalyst for your emotions to pour. And you can listen to that with the instrumental version of In Bloom. Isana is mind-blowing as it is with vocals, but as an instrumental it goes a bit softer. It's not as mind-breaking as it is with the vocals, or as dreadful as it is with the vocals along. So I'm curious to see how My Beautiful Valentine sounds like as an instrumental CD. This is the only CD so far that I haven't listened to the instrumental version, so I'm really looking forward to it. And of course, as you said, Anna, it is a really awesome CD that I'm really looking forward to it. Of course, the CD has already dropped by the time I am actually recording this episode, because I'm recording it a bit later than usual. And I hope you actually had fun listening to it, because it's really awesome composition wise, and you get to listen to, without listening to the vocals, how masterful the compositions are and how much Soma Saito adds on the vocal end when he's performing. So it is really interesting to analyze the instrumental songs in those ways, and it is really awesome to actually have the time to focus on the music only and see the conductive thread between songs. So thank you very much for participating, Anna, and I really hope you enjoyed My Beautiful Valentine instrumental edition. Now it's time for the Ask Vanessa corner, and since no one participated in this corner, it's time for me to say that just yesterday Soma Saito announced his third EP, Yin Yang, and he's already making a lot of people theorize about how it will sound like, what is going on in there. I'm going to do the same thing that I did on Twitter, and I'm going to say that seven CDs were released from June up until 7 CDs are going to be released from June up until December, or 7 batches of CDs, not 7 CDs, 7 batches of CDs. So every month since June, you've been celebrating Soma Saito's 5th anniversary as a solo artist, and he has been doing so by releasing music every month on the 7th, and basically that's that. That's instrumental music from his past up until now, and he's actually cheekily said, almost in the teasing way yesterday, that oh, I should be mentioning something or announcing something, right? And soon after, it was announced Yin Yang, a CD that is going to drop on December 7th, and the Secret Tracks CD that is going to drop on November 7th. So it is 7, the perfect number, 7 drops of music, all released on the 7th. Perfection, the perfect number. It is, for those that actually pay attention to numerology, it may be interesting to dive a bit into the meaning of the number 7. At the same time, we're going to talk about the yin-yang concept, and the yin-yang concept is one of duality between light and dark, good and bad, between conflicting emotions. It may not be even colors, it may be emotions. So we have, and I said on Twitter that it may be a contradictory perfection or a perfect contradiction in terms of concept. It sounds introspective from what I just said sounds a bit introspective. I do not know if it is going to be the concept, of course. Another thing that I'm going to say is that I actually got it right when I predicted 2 months ago, and I'm going to show a clip here. What can come from these? These may be the opening chapter to another style of song, to another chapter of releases. I do not know, but as soon as I stopped a bit and checked the release list of the instrumental CDs that were going to drop from June up until October, I noticed that there is a pattern. So all CDs are being released on the 7th of every month. It was on June 7, July 7, August 7. It will be on September 7, October 7. So what happens on November 7? That Soma Saito was going to do something weird, because every single CD release was going to drop in the 7th up until the end of the year, and Saito was saying, yeah, but I'm going to release new music as well, it's not only instrumentals. So there was a hint that he was going to keep that 7th, that those releases on the 7th of each month to be a thing, and he actually sticked with that, which is to say that this was planned all along since last year, which is bloody awesome. And in a way, I'm kind of happy that I got that right. At least it shows that even as unpredictable as Soma Saito may be as a solo artist, we never know when he is going to drop new music. We never know if that music is going to be dark or how dark it's going to be. This time around, the strategy around the music, or the marketing strategy, made sense to me. And actually, as a strategist, which is actually my job in real life, as a marketing strategist and content creator, I'm kind of pleased that Sakura Music actually went with something that makes sense for Soma Saito. It is to have meaning in the releases, not just do a dump of instrumental CDs just to say that he is active during the year, which is not. That doesn't count as activity. It's not new music. It's just a different version of the songs that you actually heard a couple of years ago. So to have him announce the Secret Tracks CD, which is to say, for those of you that haven't purchased the physical CDs by Soma Saito, it's going to be a whole new CD. For people like me that have been collecting the CDs as they are released, it's not going to be a new CD. However, if you are making a big deal of releasing a secret track album, there may be something new going on in there. Either the arrangements are different, or Saito has a hidden track within the hidden tracks CD, which would be Inception. It would be pretty awesome, and in a way I'm expecting that, but I know that you can't have a hidden track in a digital CD, so what gives. And at the same time, Yin Yang, it's curious. I want to see what comes from that concept, what comes from that CD. It is an EP, and the EP is going to drop just like My Beautiful Valentine, in the way that the two versions that are available, none have a music video. So this is yet again a piece of art for you to understand and make sense of. It is not supported by a music video that comes with it. Of course, there may be a music video released on his YouTube channel, of course, but it is not included with the CD, which puts an emphasis in the fact that this CD or this new EP will be to stop and think, analyze to the maximum and understanding the story. It's not for you to theorize based on a music video. That's why the music video is not going to be a complement to that release. I like this idea, not so much following the My Blue Vacation way with the music video, but actually not including one and focusing on delivering art for his fans to enjoy and appreciate. So I'm looking forward to it. This is a CD that has me grinning from year to year. I was craving dark music. This is weird for some of you that actually do not understand why people like dark music, but still I've been craving for dark music. It is music that I love a whole lot. It is music that makes sense for me to actually listen to, and I love to stop and analyze music to understand why an artist did something, why they actually went this way instead the other way in the composition. I want to be surprised in the lyrics. I want to have that final blow that I was not expecting, to see that final twist, to basically have a CD or an artist make my jaw drop, because I was not expecting any of that. So Masato does that, and I have insanely high expectations for Ingyan. They may be frustrated, I don't know, I hope not, but I have insanely high expectations for this CD. I do know that lyrics wise it's not going to disappoint me, but I'm worried about the instrumentals, where he is going to take his music next, because if Rakuen was anything, it was an end of a chapter, which is to say that the music going forward is going to be a bit different, or the tone is going to be a bit different. So I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you guys are as excited as I am for Somasato's third EP, Ingyan. And that's all for this corner. Ask Vanessa. That is not necessarily Ask Vanessa, it's more about what is Somasato doing next. But yeah, thank you very much for participating in this episode. Thank you to everyone that actually shares the poll or the survey when it drops. I would love to have more people participating, but still, do participate when you feel like it. And at the same time, I hope everyone is looking forward to the CDs that I mentioned, the CDs that were suggested, and of course that you keep on supporting your favorite seiyuu and 2D music projects. With that being said, this is all from me in this episode. I'll see you guys soon.